Hello and welcome to my channel Passionate PT. Today we're going to discuss about one of the syndrome that results from the damage to the vertebro-basilar artery. So let's start. The syndrome which we're going to discuss about today is the Wallenberg's syndrome. Now, why I said that one of the syndromes, because when we talk about vertebro-basilar artery, so that means vertebral artery and its branches, basilar artery and its branches. There are many signs and symptoms, and there are different syndromes that result from the damage to the different branches of these two arteries. As I have explained in my previous video, that the posterior circulation of this circle of Willis being the main circulation of the brain, and its posterior component being composed of vertebral arteries from both the sides that combine to form the basilar artery. From the posterior side of the cerebrum, two vertebral arteries join together form basilar, and basilar further divided to posterior cerebral, and that again is a part of the circle of Willis. So at the point where the vertebral arteries enter, they join to form the basilar artery. Okay, and so these vertebral and basilar artery, they give branches to different components while passing through the areas, like you can say while passing through the parts of brainstem. So one of the branch, more specifically if we talk about, is the posterior inferior cerebellar artery. That is the branch of vertebral artery. Okay, posterior inferior cerebellar artery, as the name suggests, supplies the cerebellum. So if there is damage to the posterior inferior cerebellar artery, the resulting sign and symptoms will be compiled together to name them as Wallenberg's syndrome. Okay, so this is one of the syndrome that is part of the vertebro-basilar artery syndrome, mainly posterior inferior cerebellar artery. Damage to the posterior inferior cerebellar artery results in this syndrome. This syndrome is also known as lateral medullary syndrome. So let's talk about the sign and symptoms which are included in this syndrome. Now here actually I have mentioned different areas or different components that are involved and that are affected to show the symptoms and signs. In different books you can see the symptoms and the areas. I'll try to explain it area wise or the component wise so that it can be easy to memorize it and understand it. For my own, or for memorizing it for long interval of time, I have enlisted the components or enlisted the areas that are affected most. So first you need to remember that there are mainly four cranial nerves that are affected in this syndrome. Cranial nerve 5, cranial nerve 8. In 8, being most specific, is the vestibular nucleus, not the cochlear. Cranial nerve 9th and 10th, cerebellum, and there is also a syndrome that can be a part of this syndrome, that is Horner's syndrome, and your contralateral spinothalamic tracts will also be affected. Now as a result of damage to this structure, what will be the resulting sign and symptoms? So due to damage to the cranial nerve 5, trigeminal nerve, the main symptoms or signs that will be apparent, there will be loss of pain and temperature sensations of face. The pain and temperature sensations of face is carried by fifth cranial nerve, trigeminal nerve, and if there is damage to that nerve, there will be the impaired pain and temperature sensation, this symptom being the most apparent. Next, cranial nerve 8. Now in the cranial nerve 8, vestibular nucleus is and its connections are most affected. So when there is damage to the vestibular nuclei, the resulting sign and symptoms will be vertigo, nausea, vomiting, and nystagmus. Whenever, almost at most of the places, whenever the vestibular nucleus is affected, these will be the resulting sign and symptoms. Then, due to the involvement of cranial nerve 9th and 10th, there will be dysphagia, dysphonia, there will be atrophy of laryngeal and palatal muscle, and there will be diminished gag reflex. Now here one thing is really very important. You need to understand the functions of the cranial nerves, how they work, what are the reflexes which they carry before memorizing these symptoms. Then this will be really very easy for you people to understand. I'll try to make separate videos on cranial nerves as well after I'm done with the stroke part or the CVA part. Next, your will be affected the cerebellum. Now, as you all know, when there is any, as the artery is posterior inferior cerebellar artery, so cerebellum will be affected, and this will result in ataxia of cerebellum and ataxia of limbs. Then next you'll have Horner syndrome. What is a Horner syndrome? Horner syndrome means there will be damage to the sympathetic activity. There will be decreased sympathetic activity. So damage to the sympathetic activity will result in constricted pupils, that means miosis, in drooping of eyelids, that means ptosis, and there will be decreased sweating on that part. Okay, so this will also result. All these signs and symptoms will be ipsilateral, as the cranial nerves do not cross, so they show their effects, they show their signs and symptoms on the same side, on the side of their damage. Like if their cranial nerve on the left side is damaged, all the signs and symptoms will be apparent on the left side. Only fourth cranial nerve, that is trochlear, cross. Rest none of the cranial nerves cross, and their signs and symptoms are ipsilateral. Now this is what will be apparent on the ipsilateral side. On the contralateral side, the spinothalamic tract will be affected. Spinothalamic tract carry pain and temperature sensations, so there will be disturbed pain or decreased pain and temperature sensation on the contralateral side. Okay, there will be disturbed pain and temperature sensation on the contralateral side. Rest all will be on the ipsilateral side. Now loss of pain and temperature sensation of the face on the ipsilateral side, and loss of pain and temperature sensation of the body on the contralateral side. This phenomena is also known as crossed anesthesia that can also result. So these are all signs and symptoms that are seen in the Wallenberg's syndrome. If you can memorize the area wise, this will be really very easy for you people to keep in mind. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.